of the doctors I've worked with say that charting is the most tedious part of their job. But today I'll show you how you can use Freed, which is an artificial intelligence medical scribe, to do your charts faster than ever before. I'm Mo. As a software engineer, I help doctors reduce burnout and frustration using technology. In a previous video, I talked about how to use Freed to generate your chart notes for you. You just need to press the Capture Conversation button up here, and it will listen to your visit with a patient, transcribe it, and then generate all of your chart notes for you automatically with zero work on your part, which looks like this. It will have the notes in the SOAP note format, and you can make any changes and then copy these notes as needed. Okay, so once your chart notes are generated like this, you may want to make some changes and then have the notes automatically inserted into your EMR, which I'll show you how to do now. So within Freed, you can click on any section of text and you can edit it. You can type things like this and add new lines. You can change the formatting if you wanted to, and edit the text directly within Freed. Whenever you make any edits, they're automatically saved. So you can see in the top right, it says saved just now. And then when I make another edit, it says saving. And within a second or two, that is automatically saved. So this is how you would manually edit your notes, but you can also use AI to edit your notes perhaps more effectively and efficiently. And the way you can do that is by using the magic edit feature within Freed. So that is this magic wand icon here. You can click on that and give instructions for the program to edit your chart notes directly. So it has some pre-suggested instructions, like you could change the patient name to something else. You could use numbers for lists. You can make a certain section more concise. In this case, I'll actually just dictate a custom instruction, add more detail to the objective section, but still use bullet points instead of full sentences. So I just dictated my instructions here. I'm going to remove that typo and then press update note. And now the magic edit will go through the chart note and make those changes to the relevant section. Now it's a good idea to be very clear and specific in your instructions to the magic edit tool. You want to give it a specific section to focus on. And if you're very specific, it will be more accurate. So if we scroll down, we can check the objective section, and you can see it added a bit more detail than we had before, but it kept it in the bullet point format like we had asked for. So this is the magic edit feature. Once you use it, you should always review the changes for accuracy, but you can also undo them if there are any mistakes. So let's say we weren't happy with this and we wanted to revert it to how it was before. We could just press this revert button up here in the top right. And as you can see, that brings it back to how it was before we made that change with the magic edit. By the way, if you want me to personally help you eliminate hundreds of hours of frustrating charting a year, I run a program to help doctors do just that using AI and automation tools. You can book a free call with me using the top link in the description below to start saving hours every week. All right, but now that we've talked about the magic edit button and we've made some changes to our chart notes, let's talk about how to automatically insert those notes directly into our EMR. So the slow way would be to press the copy button on a certain section and then go to your EMR and paste it in directly. But let me show you the faster way, which is to use the browser extension. So you can install the browser extension for Freed directly to your browser. I'll link to this below if you want to download it yourself. We can press add extension. That will install it. And then we can also pin that extension to our taskbar here. So if we click on this puzzle piece icon, then do pin next to Freed, you can see now that will insert that extension icon at the top here, and it will keep it always visible. So if we click on it, then we can see that it has all of our patient notes. In fact, we can use Freed exclusively from the browser extension. If we wanted to, we could do a new visit here, capture our conversations directly from your EMR so that you don't even need to switch back and forth with the website itself. So if you wanted to, this is a possibility. But then once you have your patient notes, then you can click on one of those patients And then there's this push to EHR feature in the bottom left here. So you can see this is exactly the same as the notes from the website that we've been using, but then we can press push to EHR and that will analyze the website and then insert those notes directly into our chart. So as you can see here, it put all of those notes directly into the EHR with no manual copying and pasting, which is a huge time saver and helps a lot so that you don't have to click back and forth between different tabs. So by default, Freed will always create SOAP notes. However, you may not always want to write notes in the SOAP format, depending on your specialty or preference. So now I'll show you how to set up templates within Freed so that it always generates your notes exactly how you want them to look. So there are two types of templates within Freed. Templates essentially dictate what information is included within each of the sections of your SOAP note. And if you didn't even want to use SOAP notes, you could create that customization as well. Now, by default, it will use the returning patient template up here. We can change the template for a given patient by clicking on that up here. And you can see there is a list of pre-built templates. We can also create our own, which I'll show you how to do shortly. But these are the two different types of templates that I mentioned. One is a Learn template, which is the purple icon. Learn templates use AI to learn from any edits and stylistic choices you make when you make any changes to chart notes in the sections below. And then the blue templates are structured templates. These follow a preset list of certain sections going in certain places. So this is good for consistency if you always need your notes to be in a certain format. All right, so let's talk about learned templates first. Now, if I were to change this template from a returning patient to a new patient template, then you can see below it made some changes to how the notes were formatted. But let's actually update the note below and then use AI to learn from our template as we want it. So I'm going to do something like this. I'll make all of these fully uppercase, all of these headers. I'll make them uppercase. And then let's say I actually want the social history to go above the medical history. So I'll just move a couple things around here. And then I'll press Learn Format above to learn from all of these changes that I just made. So the Learn Format button will essentially look at all of the stylistic choices. It will look at the structure and formatting. It will look at the content of the notes themselves, like the spacing, headings, whether you use bullet points, how much detail you include. And then it will basically apply all of that to an example note that is specific to this template. So you can think of the example note as a mock note that it will base all future notes of that template on. So for example, the new patient template will have its own example note, which is modeled after these changes. And then anytime we have a new patient and we want to use the same template, it will model the chart notes based on that single example note. So then whenever we click Learn Format up here, the program will override the old example note and update it with any new changes that we make to the new note. So now that we've done the Learn Format button and then it says Learning Complete, then whenever we have a new patient and we select this new patient template, it will generate the chart notes with these headers, it will make them uppercase, and it will include all of our stylistic choices in that new patient as well. Now each learned template is distinct, so they don't interfere with each other at all. So for example, the returning patient will have its own example note that it uses to model future notes on, and it won't interfere with the new patient template at all. And of course, we could create our own learned templates if we had certain categories of patients, for example, sick visits versus well visits, and then have specific templates for each one. So everything we've talked about so far is the learned template format. This is the easiest to use. It just learns from your edits. But there's also the structured note format, which is great if you want to have a specific outline and consistent format to your notes. So for example, let's look at the new medical visit format here. Let's click on that, and that will reformat this entire thing to use that structured template. So as you can see, the note has a slightly different format now, and we can actually see what that format is if we go to the template library. So you can either click on it here or go to templates on the left. Here's where we can see all of our templates. So for example, we did new medical visit, and you can see in the subjective section, it will try to fill in all of these things based on our conversation with a patient. So we'll have the chief complaint, history of present illness, all of these things below. And then the objective section will have vital signs, physical exam, lab results, rating scales. But then in a different note format, so this is the new medical visit, maybe in the return medical visit, or let's see, new patient visit. Yeah, new patient visit does not have these same sections. It doesn't have the rating scales like the new medical visit does. So depending on the type of visit, you may want to use different formats, have it include certain information, and you can also create custom templates like this. If you go to the new template button, you could generate it completely from scratch. So you could have the chief complaint. Let's say you wanted to add family history to that section. You could do that, and then maybe you want it to be in a paragraph format instead of a bullet format, and you want it to be concise. You can make all of these customizations and build your own template. You could also, if you wanted to, use a pre-built template from the Freed template library, which is up here. It has something like 46 templates right now, and they're always adding new ones for specific specialties. So for example, if you were a surgeon and wanted to create a template for a specific surgery, then you could do something like this. You could do add to my library. And now if we go back to our library, you'll see that it has the new surgical visit template added for us to use whenever we want. We can also duplicate and edit an existing template. So if we didn't want to build a template completely from scratch, we can click that. And then maybe we wanted to remove certain sections. So maybe we didn't want this rating scale section. We could do the trash can. Or maybe we wanted to add a new subsection. We could choose from the pre-built list of subsections, or we could do something like fixed text. So fixed text will just be inserted exactly as it's written. So we could say something like, patient understands the plan and will follow up as discussed. So something like this would always be added to a visit with that template. So if we went back to John Doe and we did our new version of the surgical visit, and then if we scroll down to the bottom of the objective section, then it would have that fixed text there like we just added it. So this is a brief overview of how to use templates within Freed. There's a lot more details that I didn't get into, but you can get very organized and structured with how you create these templates and have different templates for different types of patients to help you save even more time in your charting. Now I'll show you some features of Freed AI to save you even more time in your practice, like ones to send patient instructions or generate clinical letters like sick notes. So first, let's talk about how to securely send patient instructions. Now at the bottom of your chart notes, there will be a section for patient instructions. These will have all of the instructions that you said verbally during your visit with the patient. You could copy these directly like any of the other sections, or you could press this send button here and enter a patient email directly, and then check this box indicating that you've received their consent to send medical information via email. And then you could just press send below and it would send the patient these instructions directly. In addition to being able to send patient instructions, you can also have Freed generate clinical letters for you. So for example, if you wanted it to generate a referral letter, you could come up here and press referral letter, and within a few seconds, it will generate a referral letter like this. You could copy this directly or download it as a PDF. So if I do this, then you can see it generates a PDF with this referral information. Now, in addition to a referral letter, we could do a sick note, and there's a whole list there of pre-built notes that you may want to generate in your practice and not want to type up manually. Another useful feature is the pre-charting feature. So whenever you come to do a new visit, you can actually search for old patient. So I'm going to search for John Doe and click that. And you can see before we start a new visit with this patient, it will generate insights from all of the past visits with that patient. So it will have their medical history, the follow-up from the last visit, and any other relevant information you can ask directly using this AI feature here. So I could say, let's say current medications, and it will ask what the current medications are, and it says Tylenol a couple times a day as needed. So that is actually correct. This was something that was indicated in the last visit with the patient. I could ask about allergies, and it says no known allergies. Or I could ask a question myself, a custom question, not from this pre-built list. So this can be really helpful to get quickly caught up to speed about past visits with a patient or their medical history. The final feature I'll show you is one to upload a file directly in case you didn't capture the conversation from Freed itself. So if you have pre-recorded visits, you can upload those as audio files like this and open them directly within Freed, and that will upload and transcribe that patient interaction in case you ever have audio files that you need to generate chart notes from. So this has been an overview of some of the features within Freed AI. Again, you can book a free call with me using the top link below if you want me to help you eliminate hours of manual charting every week. If you enjoyed this video, check out this one next to learn even more time-saving features within Freed. Thanks for watching.